Scarlet Park, Bubba Sparks.
Booty, 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 rockin' everywhere. Booty, 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 rockin' everywhere. Booty, booty.
Y'all can see by the title, yes, I was a phlebotomist. I worked at a plasma center, y'all, and when I tell y'all, I was not making no bank there. Like, I literally knew almost everything there. I was cross-trained with everything, and they literally were only paying me $11.50 an hour, y'all. $11.50 an hour. I was doing overtime. If you live in Florida and you know Dunn Avenue, it was over there. And when I tell you, like, it's just ghetto, it's just too much, it's wild, like it's nothing that you want to work at. Like the area that I was at, it was nowhere like I wanted to work at. So I'm about to get right into this video to tell y'all the pros and cons of working at a plasma center, getting your experience as far as for phlebotomy. So yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, so y'all, if y'all catch me looking down, it's only because of my notes. But yeah, I did want to start off by saying working at BPO, I was working at BPO Plasma. It's pretty much nationwide with a couple of states and whatnot. But I was working at BPO Plasma. I was only making $11.50 an hour. So yes, I still consider that being broke as a phlebotomist, because really a phlebotomist is supposed to be making like $14 an hour or more. And with the location I felt like I worked at, I wasn't really getting paid the money that I really should have got. Starting off, you were only getting like $10 an hour. And one thing I can say about plasma centers, they're very cheap when it comes to paying, like, and they get so much money off of these plasma bottles. Like, I don't understand that either. Like, these donors, they be getting like a whole bunch of promotions within a month of stuff, and I'll be thinking like, dang, they get paid more than I do by the time the end of the month, like for real. But no, like, I really feel like if you do the math, it pretty much was a waste of time, because pretty much they were playing with my money. But however, I feel like I did get my experience as far as for phlebotomy, so that's a good thing as far as for that. A couple of things just to remember. So always remember this: get your experience and get out. Like literally, it's a job that's gonna drive you crazy. It's gonna make you want to smoke cigarettes. It's gonna make you like want to just go crazy, because like it's literally like I said, it all depends on the location. Which brings me to the next one. You want to peep the location before applying. This is my first job as far as for phlebotomy when I had started there, because I did only phlebotomy when I was in my externship as far as for medical assisting. So, you know, I was able to do that in the OBGYN field. But however, for me working at an actual plasma center and sticking donors every day, like, that was my first job as far as for that. So I definitely would pick a different location, like something like here in Florida, I would probably pick like Orange Park, something that's kind of like near me, you know, or like Jacksonville Beach, just a nice area. Also learn as much as you can. I started off as a donor floor tech, then I went to phlebotomist, and then I had learned reception. Reception is pretty much the front area where you take vitals and stuff like that, and the donor tech pretty much sets up the machine and take it down. So those were all good to kind of like learn. I feel like only get cross-trained to get experience. When they cross-train you, they're gonna constantly keep putting you out on the floor, and sometimes being on the floor does get overwhelming sometimes, because a lot of stuff can sometimes be on you. Also, you got like machines and donors and everybody who needs to kind of like get your attention at the time. So definitely that does come in part where I feel like it can get overwhelming at times. So let me tell you guys pros and cons. And also I wanted to let you know, like, they gave me on a 50-cent raise, y'all. Like, I'm tripping about this company, because they tripped me off my money. Like, I was a good worker, like for real. Like when I'm a good worker and I really like what I do, I bust my behind like that. And I was like, after looking back at it, like I love the job that I do now as a medical assistant, but I was like, man, I was played for real. So let me tell y'all the pros and the cons. Audio Jungle. Alright, so some of the pros, I'm gonna start off with the good things. So some of the pros is you get to learn how to stick, so that's when your phlebotomy skills come into that. You get to learn how to do the lab, that's when you process and pretty much collect the plasma bottles. You'll be able to learn how to do everything in there. That was a tough job getting that. I know that was like the highest paying job there. I mean, besides like supervisor and stuff like that, I feel like the lab people get paid more because they're doing a lot more and it's a lot more responsibility there. I mean, everybody have a lot more responsibility, but that's an important part. You also get to learn reception. That's when you take vitals, you have to identify the donor, make sure they're good on everything, their hematocrit, their total protein, all that type of stuff. You have to make sure you keep up with that. Also, you learn the donor floor tech. That's when you set up the machine, take down the machine. You get to learn different things on the donor floor, how to fluid things. To me, the donor floor keeps you busy. It always is going to be something going on. You got to pay attention to certain things. So that was something good. And also make minimum friends. I feel like don't be too friendly when you're there, because people come in and people come out. Like, it's a fast-paced job. It's not something you want to do for a living. I mean, that's how I see it. I couldn't do that for a living, y'all, like for real. So let me tell y'all the cons. All right, so the cons thing I would say is that they cheat you out your money sometimes. So do pay attention to your pay stub. Like, I feel like for companies that's like plasma centers, because they hire anybody on, like, I feel like do check your money. Like, make sure that they're good and accurate on everything. When you have a raise, make sure they're on top of it. You know, when you pass your 90 days, they're on top of it, all that type of stuff. The more you know, the more money you get. So make sure they're on top of it. Plus, everybody leaves you on the floor. Like, with my experience, people were leaving me on the floor all the time. Like, it would be times where I'm sometimes either the only one, or it'd be like me and another friend of mine. Like, we'll be the only ones on the floor. I didn't like that. So that's aggravating. Also, donors try to talk to you, y'all. Like, y'all, it was so many relationships going on at my job. Like, I was literally like, are y'all serious? Like, these are donors. Like, I feel like that was so unprofessional, but you know, I was working with a whole bunch of grown people. I was actually one of the youngest people working there. I was 21 when I was working at the doggone plasma center, and I just couldn't believe some of the stuff I was seeing. Like, I was like, y'all are crazy, like, for real. Also, they need better management. Like, sometimes with plasma centers, they hire anybody on, so the management cannot be always structured, I would say sometimes. So do pay attention to stuff like that as well. You know, when I first started off working there, I'm not gonna lie, we had the best manager. It was a lady named Miss Carisha White. She was the best manager there, y'all. Like, everything was structured, and then ever since she left, like, everything was like downhill with the company, and I didn't too much like it. So if the management ain't together, the company not gonna be together. So that's why I had to leave. And last thing I would say is they need more practice with training, because like I said, they hire anybody on. Like, people can't become a phlebotomist in 2 days. Like, literally, you can't. And with that job, basically, you can. They will make it possible. They don't care how you had any experience with sticking and stuff like that. And I don't too much like that, because you putting people at risk with sometimes with stuff. So do pay attention to that. So if you're planning on applying to a plasma center, y'all, I'm hoping this video will help you out. If you have any questions or anything, leave it in the comments below, because I do check it. But don't forget to subscribe to your girl at Keep Up with Desi. And I'm just loving how this channel is going so far, y'all. So be prepared for what I got coming soon for y'all. Have a good one. Peace, y'all.